Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sakana Vavadu Sakana Punattu Sakabiryam Karabhavake Tejas Vina Vadida Mastuma Vatpishavake. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Namaskaram to you. We are really fortunate to have this weekly satsang. Thank you, Balaji, for this. In the Vedanta, we together started to learn for the last 2 years or so. We did some introduction, Tattvabodha, Patanjali Yoga Sutram, and then we moved into Upanishads. So we studied Isa Upanishad for I think 15 classes. Now we have the courage, shall I say, the audacity to venture into understanding another important Upanishad called Kathopanishad. So we are really blessed. In the study of Vedanta itself is not an easy task to acquire. I would say we are blessed for this simple reason. It is not something which we normally aspire to go in our normal life. Even those devoted to God and devoted to Sanatana Dharma, very pious people, virtuous people in life, they may not take Vedanta very easily because it takes time. If you have a puja, you will have lots of people. You do a Nama Sankirtanam, you will have hundreds of people. You do the Radha Kalyana Mahotsavam, lots of people. That is natural. In the Vedanta, in a satsang where Vedanta is discussed, where Upanishads are discussed, you will only see a handful, few people. This is not what I am saying. This is what Bhashyakara Shankara says. Why it is that we do not know? Because this is addressing the most fundamental of nature, addressing Satyasya Satyam. Yajnavalkya says, the truth of all the truth is in Vedanta. When you say Vedanta, we say Upanishad. Upanishad means Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya. Don't be worried about these buzzwords. In fact, once we understand that this is about nothing outside of us that we are studying, but the very nature of who I am. Because by studying who I am, I study who you are. I study what everything is. I study who is the God. Because they are so intertwined at Dvaidam, undifferentiated. So it is going to give you an enormous power. Now, if it is so, why is it not taught from the early days? Why are we not, everybody is having the curriculum of this Vedanta, except for the selected few in the Brahmacharya ashram? That is because we are not wired to look inwardly when we are born. All our senses look outwardly. We carry the karma palams. The world has to sustain and go. So there is a path of evolution that you go through. At some stage, it opens up your mind that you need to inquire. Called Mimamsa. Mimamsa means divine inquiry, puja vicharam. That means you inquire. I underline the word inquire. This is not dogmatic principles. You inquire. When you ask, when you seek, then it is getting revealed. So the seeking is not something which I can tell you that when you should seek, because seeking has to come internally. That's why it's called a blessed nature to study this, and we are really blessed. We thank our fortune for that. Right. What is Brahma Vidya? What is Atma Vidya? If you not heard it before, don't worry. We are going to learn that in this Upanishad. But what is it? What is the purpose of it? Why am I spending my time on Sunday morning coming to the class and understanding Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya? What is it for? It is for happiness, peace, blessing. Happiness, if you look at it, the question may come into your mind if you are very rational. If for happiness I'm coming to Sunday morning classes of Atma Vidya, I'm missing a point. My happiness is going and do a exercise in the gym, go and play the squash, buy things, make money, because it gives me happiness. But then why I'm doing this? Because those happiness that you get, you are getting it because you don't see those objects with you. A vastu will give you happiness. An object will give you happiness. That you don't have it with you and you want it. I want this iPhone. I don't have an iPhone. I need to buy it. You buy it. So how can you buy it? You can buy it only if you put an effort to it. You need money. So anything that you achieve in this world requires karma or action. If action needs to be done, I shouldn't be wasting my time sitting in a class. I should do action. That's why many don't come to the Vedanta, because they know very well what gives them happiness is elsewhere, somewhere that they don't have it. So they go for it. That is agreed. So the action that you do to achieve what you want to achieve is called a karma. So by doing karma, you get things, it gives you happiness. Karma palam gives you happiness. But you may have a question in your mind. Well, it is not always happiness. My action leads to problems. Or even the happiness that I get doesn't stay forever. So I can simply say, the sukham I am getting through karmas are anityam. Don't worry about if you don't know Sanskrit, but the words that you can start using it, the vocabulary, if you build it, you will know. So anityam is temporal. So what I am learning from this is by action, by karma, I can only get anitya sukham. Why? Because I am getting anitya vastu. What is anitya vastu? That which did not exist before, exists now, and will not exist in the future. It was not there before, it is now, it is not there in the future. Now tell me anything that you have which is not anityam. My beauty is gone. My memory is gone. My relatives are gone. My parents are gone. So anything I possess is anityam. See, this particular Upanishad we are going to study requires very sound mind, very strong mind, because we are going to talk about death. Don't need to worry about that. It is to get freedom from death. So therefore, I want to really go back to what we have learned before, bring the context so that you can calibrate your thinking and your mind and become steadfast, focused, because you need to be very focused. So what we are saying here, karma can only give me anitya vastu, but to live in this world, I need different vastus, different objects, which are not, I have it right now. Therefore, I must do karma. I do the karma in a righteous way. Perfectly fine. So karma is not humiliated or decried. Karma is necessary, but the limitation of karma is it is for anitya sukha. Now, how many of us want eternal sukha? All of us. All of us want eternal sukha. But we do not know that a sukham can be eternal and it can be obtained. If you know it, you would not go after the alpa sukham, right? So we need to know that sukham can be eternal. If sukham is eternal, I must get it. Now you can do inference. See, we all go by logically in this. Vedanta is full of logic and reasoning. Anitya sukham requires karma. It gets anitya vastu. It is temporal. I understand. Now I want nitya sukham. What karma I should do? Nitya means what? That is existing now. It existed before. It will exist afterwards. If it is always existing, what is there to get? Obtaining is obtaining that you do not have. If you have it, it is siddha vastu. You already have it. So I don't need to do any action. You understand? So I don't need karma, as I say, to attain the eternal sukha. This is very important to understand. Many differences came in the Purva Mimamsa because they thought karma gives you sukham. I can go to Vaikuntham, I can go to, Indralokam, Swargam. And then what happens? Then I have to descend. Then my punyam goes down. So they are also, Indra Padavi also, you'll see Lord Yama, we're going to discuss about him. He's also always scared because his job is finished one day. So anything that I attain will go away. Mahamantram. What is there? Only eternally there. Therefore, what we need to hold on to is what we think that is eternally there. This is something to contemplate. Vedantam is all about contemplation. What is that in me that is eternal? I don't need to do any karma, but I need to know what is that eternal thing. I need jnanam. Understand? Knowledge. So knowledge alone can give you eternal sukham. Karmas can give you temporal sukham. I need to have karmas in this world to survive. In every embodiment I need to take, I need karmas. Therefore, I do punya karmas. But when I want freedom from this, moksham from this, I need to have the jnana. That will give me eternal happiness. Then you come to the Vedanta. Okay? Now, what is a jnanam? The jnanam is the right knowledge, the perfect knowledge. Knowledge of Ishvara, knowledge of Brahma, knowledge of the world. Seeing everything for its truth. We don't see it for the truth. That's why science is always in a vicious circle, because in a way, science is also like a puja vichara, because it is trying to hit the sweet spot of truth on everything. But science is an objective knowledge. It needs experiments based on objects. Objects are anitya vastu. Therefore, all the experiments are anityam. So Newton can be very good for a while. Somebody like Einstein will come and he will throw him away. Einstein may be good for a while. Somebody from quantum science will come back and throw it away. So the right knowledge is the key. But you may think, wait a minute, when I do any action, any karma I do, I need knowledge. How to do sandhya mandiram, I need how to do the pujas, how do I do my job? Knowledge is there as well. So we split the knowledge into two parts. First one, we call it Bhuta Bhautika Vijnanam. I'm going to give you common sense. But these are important because when we go into the Upanishad proper, text proper, your questioning mind should raise doubts and you should be able to put it, is it a Buddha Bhautika Vijnanam I need for this, or I need Atmajnana Vicharam for it? This story part, should I spend my time or should I take the inference part of it? Many lectures, many debates goes on. Well, can Nachiketa, I can really go to the Lord of Death? How can he come back? What kind of questioning will come, which is irrelevant? So, Bhuta Bhautika Vijnana. Bhautikam means the physical part that you can see, the tangible part, gross body, anatomy. I study is Bhautikam, material science. Everything is Bhautikam. We need that. Bhuta is subtle part. Bhuta forms Bhautika. When you do this, I'm doing a water research. What is the Bhautika part? I do the water research. I do electrolysis and I split the water into oxygen and hydrogen. Now, oxygen is not, I can't see oxygen. It is a Bhutam, subtle part. I can study the subtle part because I have mathematical model, molecular structures I can define. My kalpitam come in, my imagination comes in. See, all that we see, the chemical reactions are all working okay, but they cannot be perfect because it's somebody's imagination. It seems to be working until it is proven not right. So the Bhuta Bhautika Vijnanam is a knowledge. It helps to do the karmas. So in karma also you need knowledge. The knowledge is subservient to karma in the worldly knowledge. So when you go to a new job, they say orientation, training. Why? Knowledge becomes a sadhanam, a tool to do a job. Karma is the primary goal. Knowledge is a tool. But when you look at the Brahmajnanam, Atmajnanam, there you are looking at not the object, but for whom the object exists. Just think about a minute. You have a family, wife, husband, children, job. Put yourself in the center of the family. I am the center. That's very important. Vedanta, you have to be the center. In our astrology, in Sanatana Dharma, Bhumi is taken to be the center of the universe. Everything rotating around the Bhumi. So the Westerners thought, we were ignorant. We didn't know that sun is the center part and the earth is rotating around it. That is not correct. Everything is rotating. Even if you look at the sun, it is rotating. The solar system is rotating. Everything is rotating. When everything is rotating, you can choose anything to be your Loki, your center. What is best to take your center is the earth, because that's where I live. Therefore, I can look at the sun moving around the earth, the same velocity threshold, and vice versa. So the mathematics can be still perfect. Same way, in life, in Vedanta, in Atma Vidya, the center is not God. God has no role here. The Upanishads don't talk about the God. Especially those 10, 12 Upanishads which Bhagavan Shankara chose to write Bhashyam is universal. Of course, Upanishads also added later. Ganesha Upanishad, Narayana Upanishad, about particular God, deity, they're all added later. But the primary Upanishad are talking about you, I. The centerpiece of attraction is us. So imagine now in my family, why everybody is for me? Who they are for? They are for me. Mother is for me, father is for me, children is for me. So if everything is for me, the experience I gain is to this person. But is it this body? Is it the mind? So this is the Atmajnanam. If the Atmajnanam reveals to me who I really am, then I'm able to see every body that is there should have the same Atmajnanam. There must be something there. They have the common name. Your name is Raji, your name is Balaji, my name is Raja. But when you say as a pronoun, you say Nan, I. I is a common name to us. Get the same name, Ekanamam. So when you have Ekanamam, everything together is Brahman, Parama Atma. The Jiva Atma is I am. Parama Atma is that universal consciousness. The Atma is the principle that is there. Don't worry about that. We will learn that. Now, all that has to be learned, that jnanam is called Vedas. So, your Laukika knowledge and Vaidika knowledge is Veda. Of course, Veda is also helping us, the whole humanity. Therefore, it talks about the karma. Until you come to this Atma Jnanam, I'll give you some karmas to live happily in this world. Well, are you going to teach me coding, system design, electrical engineering? That's my job. No. That you can learn in the world. Because they change. But I'll tell you how you can do those coding job, electrical engineering job, teaching job in this world righteously so that they get done well and it can gain you punya. So the whole karma kantas of Vedas gives you how to do your karmas in this world rituously, virtuously, wisely, nicely. But then they stop you at some place. Because once you start doing it, you know the whole story. Karma becomes karma yogam, karma sannyasam, then upasana. Then you start thinking, hey, I can see something about this. I am just doing karma for karma's sake. I am unattached. Then who am I? So you come to this club, then come the Atmajnana. That is Veda. The root of Veda, as you know, with, to know, knowledge. So Vedas are not religious textbooks. Vedas are the universal knowledge depository. Universal, beyond the caste creed. But it has established certain rights and procedures for people living in some part of the world. In the Indian continent, subcontinent, the rishis were doing this karmas. So karmas are written. Therefore, anywhere in this world, there may be universal laws. Dharma is that the rhythm. Water flows, fire is warm, wind breezes, touches, caresses you, the sky is subtle. All these are dharmas are given in the Vedas. Okay. So now you know that we are going to discuss the Veda, the part of Veda which is called Vedanta. Now, in the traditional sciences, you are given tools of knowledge, a preparation for you. When you write a IIT entrance exam in India or in a Cambridge entrance exam, you prepare certain way of answering questions because you need to sharpen your brain. They don't ask you straight questions. They'll ask you very, convoluted questions. You need to think differently. So you prepare for it. So in a music class, same way. So to practice your mind, to focus, to polish your intellect, to be sharpened, we need to know what are the constituents of knowledge and what are the instruments of knowledge. We covered all this in a very detailed way, but I want to bring back to memory. Knowledge is called, in Sanskrit, prama. Prama means right knowledge. Prama. P. If you say Brahma, that's a wrong knowledge. If you put B-R-A-M-A, wrong knowledge. Brahma. I look at the window, hey, that is a ghost. It's a ghost. I'm scared. And I put the torch and I see, hey, my milkman is coming. The Brahma becomes a Brahma with an instrument of light. So everything we think as Brahma could be proven to be a Brahma. So knowledge is polished. That's why you never think I got the knowledge and sit quiet. You must always validate the knowledge. Is this knowledge right? It may be right in certain context. Sun rises in the east. Brahma, right knowledge. You study physics, sun never rises. Is it a Brahma? Yes, it's a Brahma then. But I will continue to use it because it helps me. See the difference. You are able to discriminate from Brahma and Brahma. This intellectual power of discrimination is called Viveka. Wrong knowledge from the right knowledge. Viveka is like a Swiss knife. There are a lot of benefits of it. So Brahma is the right knowledge. So we always look for Brahma. But knowledge doesn't stay by itself. It will when we are understanding Atmajnanam. chit. But in the world, knowledge doesn't stay by itself. You cannot go and say, I have the knowledge. The next question somebody will ask you is, knowledge of what? Right? You can't claim your knowledge if you don't hold on to an object. I have knowledge of singing, knowledge of this particular instrument. So you always have an object of knowledge. That object on which you have the knowledge is called prameya. So prama and prameya. So the world is full of prameyams. You are trying to get the prama of those prameyams. So all the laukika and Buddha Bhautika Vijnanam is to give you the prama of the prameyam. Try to use those words, Sanskrit words. It makes you easy to read the books. But this don't exist in isolation. Knowledge does not exist without a knower. The object of knowledge has no meaning, no existence without an awareness of the knowledge object. So the pramata is a sentient being, a knowledgeable person. Here the context is who is looking for the prameyam to understand its prama. So you and I are the pramatas. We are trying to find the Atma Jnanam, the prama, on the prameyam about ourselves. So we are going to treat us as an object of knowledge, and then we're going to remove those layers of object. Okay, so these three words, understand. But I need some tool set. How am I going to do this? I need a surgical knife. That instrument of knowledge is pramanam. When I bring this light to see the ghost in the garden, the light is a pramanam. It showed me that it is what? So these 4 P's are that what you're going to deal with. Now, all common sense. The only difference, the reason I am laboring this point, the only difference because when you come to Upanishads, Vedanta, what pramanam to use? Can I use a lecture given by somebody? Can I use a thesis done by somebody from the scratch? Can I use this karma? Can I use this yoga? Can I go with this kumbhabhishekam rituals I can do? What can I do? That's why we need to really understand what are the different pramanas that we have. Very quickly. We've gone through this before. The first one is pratyaksham. Aksham means eyes, but here aksham means sensory part. Pratyaksham. Absolutely, this is the important part. We always want to start with pratyaksham and with pratyaksham. I want to have pratyaksham. I can see it directly. I see the computer, I see you. My eyes see you. My ears are hearing. So direct perception. But then you understand, can I have a complete knowledge about any object with just my pratyaksham? To do that, you must look at within this pratyaksha pramanam, what are the instruments of knowledge I have? My eyes. What do my eyes can do? It can only see the colors or the form. It can't tell me the texture of it. It can't tell me the breadth, width, length of it. It can't tell me how it tastes, how it smells. It's got a singular function. This is the beauty of Prakriti. Prakriti is very focused. Everything that gives you a single focus. Eyes will see the colors. varnam. My ears will hear. My tongue will taste. My nose will smell. My skin will touch and feel. They can't do other things. I can't smell with my ears. No way. So they are limited in focus, but well versed in that particular function of it. But when I bring it together, it brings me a perception. Then I use the perception in my mind. Therefore, the mind comes in as a gluing agent of it. An intellect, a part of the mind, creates shape to it and understanding to it. Then a perception comes in. Now you understand. Therefore, you cannot say, show me God, like Hiranyakasipu asked Prahalada, because he doesn't understand. He wants to see it directly. Of course, God can come and show himself directly if he need be. But if he comes and shows you directly, even God will be limited. He will not be infinite. Why? If you have to see him, your eyes have to see them. So it's a limited. He has to take a form. So Pratyaksha Pramanam cannot give you the infinite Brahman, infinite Atma. Please, whenever I say Atma, don't look for something else. Infinite you. We are in a superlative position. Because we are going to go to the Mahavakyam, Aham Brahmasmi at some stage. So Pratyaksham cannot see me. Therefore, I cannot see myself. But it is an instrument that I need to use. Very closely following Pratyaksha Pramanam is Anumana Pramanam. Well, I have some knowledge using my Pratyaksha Pramanam. Now, without some time, I close my eyes and somebody is passing by. I know it is my wife because maybe the perfume she wears or the steps, the way she walks. I deduce inference. Typical example they say is a smoke in a faraway hill. The smoke must be a fire. I know fire, there's smoke, there must be a fire there. But can the inference be Brahma? Maybe. Like Pratyaksham. Can a Pratyaksham be Brahma? Maybe. But it could be a Brahma as well. So you see where I'm going. Therefore, all the knowledge we get is not guaranteed to be right. To never say that I know the truth. Truth cannot be known. It can be the truth. But we make an assumption, inferences. Then you have what's called arthapatti, presumption. Inference is where you see in real time. Somebody is walking, I immediately infer that is my wife. I see the smoke, immediately I say it is the fire in the mountain. I go to bed, I get up, I see my driveway wet. The road is wet. The trees are wet. Then what do I think? There must be a rain. I did not see the rain. It's in a way it's kind of inference, but because of the perfection in the logical reasoning in the Vedanta, we split them into different categories. This is a presumption. I presume there must be rain. It could be again a Brahma, because after all, my daughter could have come and washed this driveway with a hose. The hose would have touched the trees. I don't know. My presumption is rain. Arthapat. That is a part of knowledge. It's just a upamana, comparison. You have never seen a bison. And I'm telling you, hey, bison is like a buffalo. Only thing is it's a little bit rough, little bit stout, little aggressive. Then when you go to this zoo, when there is no signboard, and I see this animal there, direct perception, but then you have upamana. Hey, this doesn't look like a buffalo, but it could be bison. Upamana. Then something called anupalapti. This is slightly difficult to understand, but you will know when I say. I'm saying all this because when you have the questioning on the Vedanta Vichara, we may have to use any of those techniques to resolve your doubt. So you must understand the tools are okay. If you don't know the tools, you can't use the tools, you can't get the problem solved. Anupalapti is existence is derived by observing non-existence. Like what? I ask you, now you are far away, you are behind the Zoom screen. I say, look, do I have a cat in my room? You can't answer it. But then you will come into my room and you check. And what do you achieve? You achieve the knowledge that there is no cat in this room. What have you witnessed? Your Pratyaksha Pramanam gave you the absence of cat. Abhavam. You understand? Non-existence. This argument is necessary because there are a lot of intricate questioning that Shankara faces, and we need to really counter them. Non-cognition is also a positive knowledge. In the absence of that, light is the absence of darkness. If you say the absence of darkness means light exists, anupalapti. You normally don't say. You don't say when I see the light, I don't say I see the absence of darkness, because it doesn't make sense in an empirical world. But for argument's sake, I can say, yes, I see absence of darkness because there is light. Now, you can see all this, you can invent a few more, yeah? But these are all Purusheya. The man has created this kind of a different instruments of thinking to refine the thoughts in questioning that. But now the question comes in. You are driving to the airport and you are already late. The Google map doesn't work. And you stop the car. You find a sane person. You want to stop next to an insane person or a drunkard. Go to a sane person and say, look, can you tell me the way to Heathrow? He's going to say, go straight, take the right signal. You are there. And what are you going to do now? Are you going to take that as a Brahma or a Brahma? You're going to take it as a Brahma. Why? It is not a pratyaksham, it's not anumanam, it's not arthapatti, it's not upamanam, anupalapti. No. What is this? This is a shabda pramana. Somebody gave me a word. What kind of word it is? Aptavakyam. A good person or a decent person, a trustworthy person. Now, can it be a Brahma? Can it be a wrong one? It could be, because he might have given you wrong advice. Sometime I know in some countries, I have been there and they will never say, no, I don't know the way. Just go this way, But there is a validation process. But if you know the person is sincere, if you trust the Google, because Google has done a validation test, Google Map will take me the right way. There it's a Shabda Pramana. So this is the most important Pramana. In Vedantam, Shabda Pramana goes to the top. What is Shabdam we are using here? Not Laukika Shabdam, but Vaidika Shabdam. That is the Vedas. Vedas are the Pramanam. This is why when you are intellectually, if you are interested to read about all the debates about different Vedantic schools, you get stunned if you don't understand, because all the arguments will have a very fixed terms of reference. The reference is, hey, what you're saying is incorrect because Vedas says so. It is correct because Vedas says so. Nobody will question why Vedas says so. They may have an interpretation of that, but it's taken that Vedas are apurusheya. It is the words of the God. Now, this is where Shraddha comes in. You have to trust it. You will have enough opportunity to validate in your experience. But if you don't take the guy telling you this way to go to Heathrow, if you don't take it, you go nowhere. You need a pramanam which is guiding you to go towards your goal, with an opportunity to validate the pramanam through your experiences. That is what Veda gives you. So when you talk about Vedanta Upanishad, you always make a statement. If there is an argument, Bhagavan is a great example. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, so does the Vedas. He quotes very openly, verbatim, Kathopanishad, Isa Upanishad. Why? Because his assertion to Arjuna has to have validity. The validity is in Vedas. The problem happens if you don't understand the interpretation of Vedas correctly. Okay? Now, here we come to the Jnana Kanda of Veda, because we are not in the karmic part. We come to the Upanishad part. It's called Vedanta. Therefore, the Pramanam for us is not the Veda, the whole infinite samudra of text, but the Vedanta or the Upanishad. And what we're going to do, we are going to do that with the example of Bhagavan Shankara's Bhashya. Because it is, now you cannot take Upanishad book just because you have a Sanskrit knowledge or you have the English translation done by somebody and you can read it. You can read it, but you may have a misconception of it. So you need a guru to teach you. We will see why it is. But you can take the printed text as a guidance to get a preparatory ground, and to someone with the limited knowledge, like myself, I'm giving you some ideas to get you some grip so that your search for the true Acharya Guru to give you the import can happen. So it is, so my opportunity here is to create interest in you. Do I know it? No. But I have a tool, because Shankara Bhashya is a great Bhashya, because it reveals the import of what is inside. The Vachyartham is very difficult. Now, Agni Mele Prohidam is the first mantra of Rigveda. If you do a literal translation, it gives a different meaning. But what does it say? Prohidam means agency. Prohidar is an agent. The Prohidar we call the Ganapadikal becomes to home to do the puja is an agent. Prohit is an agent. Agni is the agent for what? So to reach the supreme truth, Agni. Why? Because Agni is a consummate consumer of everything else. Pious, never adulterated. That's why we use Agni for Deepam, Agni for Yajnam. So even just the three words, Agni Mele Prohidam, will take you 1 hour to understand, and you do Tattvartham for it. So we need to have Bhashyakara's help. Bhashya means commentary. In Sanskritam, and like in everything, every language, there are different things. Uray nool, Padanul, Karattanul in Tamil. Vritti, Bhartikam, Bhashyam, Panchika, Paspasa, Karika, so many things. Like Vrittihi is a Vyakhyan. Sutrat Pradhanoktatta Vritti. The original text is called a Sutra. We talked about the Sutra Lakshanam before. Sutra is Alpaksharam, very limited words, compacted. So if you take the little words of the mantras and then you expand it, Vyakhyanam is Vritti. Vritti is growth, Vartikam. So basically they give you some sort of Vivarana, Sutra Artha Vivarana. What is that Sutra tells you? What is the Udaranam? What is the Prati Udaranam? Some Padachedam, split the words. Or you can say it this way, Nir Indriya, split the word. Nir gives you this meaning. So this kind of a Padartham is Vartikam, Vritti. Vritti. Vartikam is take the Vritti, the Padartham, and then you give Ukta Anukta Druktadi. So you look at it and say, what is not told, but it is abhavam, it is there. What is told, what is not told. So it is expanding the vritti. For example, in Ishavisimisa, Tena Taktena Bunchita, by giving sacrifice. If you take a vritti, it will say you, by sacrificing, you attain the divine view of the world. That's it. But what it did not tell you, sacrifice what? By sacrificing my cow, my house, my money, something is missing, right? So if I can start writing that, you sacrifice your notional thinking of this world, your perception on others, if you sacrifice them. Now what I'm doing now, I am creating a vartikam. That means I am giving the prayojanam of this word. I'm giving you the samshayam, the doubt, I'm expanding it. I'm telling you the Vakya Vishesh Nirnayam, why this word is put it this way. So, you see, so when you are writing a Vartikam, you must know the Mula Mantra's Rishi's mind. Why did he put this word? Understand? So that's why when you the same, simply reading a meaning using a Sanskrit dictionary is very, very limited. You must read the vritti. Who wrote the vritti? Then you understand this. Then what is the Vartikam available on this? Vartikam gives you the additional thing, missing bits. But if you get Bhashyam, Bhashyam is expansion of this. We can spend a lot of time on defining Bhashyam. The Bhashya Lakshanam gives you the Sutrastam Padamadayam Swapatani Nirnayam. The Sutrakarta, the guy who writes the Bhashyam is a commentary. He started expanding it, bringing other text into this. By expanding it, he brings new terms. Like Shankara will say, Mithyatvam, he will say. You will look at the Upanishad mantra, there's no Mithyatvam there. What does he bring in? He brings in a Swapatartham. Then he has to explain what the Mithyatvam mean and why it is contextually correct. See, if you do a PhD, you know it. When you write a word, you got to really write down why you write the word, what does it mean. So Bhashyam. So if you take a Bhashyam, it gives you Vritti and Vartikam and gives you everything else. And like Patanjali's Mahabhashyam, like Bhagavan Shankara is called a Bhashyakara. Normally, Bhashyakara means Bhagavan Shankara because he wrote Bhashyam to Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranama, Brahma Sutra, and the 10 or 11 or 12 Upanishads, written the Bhashyas. Of course, he written slokas and all that, but take Shankara's work, the Bhashyas are they are stunning. I know every time, the limited knowledge, if I study every time, every word gives me a different meaning. It's so beautiful. So we take this Shankara Bhashyas as a reference for our study. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time to go through Padartham or Vritti of Shankara Bhashya. Great acharyas do go through them and read out the Shankara Bhashyam and write each word, why he say, what he say. But I'm going to give you like a honey, What is a honey? Honey is in different flowers, right? The bees go there, labor each flowers, pick up the honey, they taste them themselves, and then put in a bag for us to pick up, right? So like that, with my limited task, I go around and pick up important points. I give you what is needed. That's what my goal is. Okay, let me see how much time I have. I'll take 10 minutes and then come to a stop. So in fact, Bhagavan, we will talk about the Upanishad in the class. I think I'll talk about the Bhashyam. Bhagavan wrote the Bhashyam for all the Upanishad, but in the Kathopanishad and Brahmopanishad, Brihadaranya Upanishad, these two Upanishads, he writes a bit elaborate. Elaborate means even very succinct Bhashya, called Avatarika Bhashya. With the context, defining what the Upanishad is. In the Ishavasya Upanishad, he didn't define that, but here he defines that. But before, the first thing he starts is a Mangalacharanam, and he says, Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivaspataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachikedase Cha. I am not going to make you recite, but I strongly recommend when you are muted, please recite yourself. This is the first sutra, Astama Mangalacharanam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivaspataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketase Cha. Om is the Mangala Shabdam, Parabrahmam. Because Om defines Nirguna Brahma. You start with the Om or the Atha Shabdam. Atha also like that. Atha also Mangala Shabdam. Namo Bhagavate. Namo. I offer my obedience. I pray I give my respects to Bhagavan. Talked about who is the Bhagavan. Even the last class, there is the explanation about Bhagavan. Here he is praying worship to Vaivasvataya Mrityave. Vaivasvatam. Vivaswan is the sun. Sun is called Vivaswan. Vivaswan's son, the sun's child is Lord of Death, Mrityu, Yamadharma Raja. Vaivasvataya. Vaivasva denotes to the son of Vivaswan. So, O Lord, the son of the Aditya, Lord of Death, O Mrityave, I worship you as you are Brahma Vidya Acharya. You are the guru of Brahma Vidya. And I worship Nachiketa. Nachiketan is the hero of the story. We will talk about this hero. So I worship you, the teacher of Brahma Vidya. Nachiketas, the young boy who provoked the guru to impart the Brahma Vidya so that we benefit. I offer my worship. Bhagavan Shankara says this. Like, therefore, when you recite the Bhagavad Gita, who was the guru there? Bhagavan Krishna. And who was the instigator of Bhagavad Gita? Arjuna. So we must offer worship to both Arjuna and Bhagavan. That's why there's a Bhagavad Gita Dhyana Slokam is there. You must say that. So here, Bhagavan is offering worship to these two. Atha Kathopanishad Vallina Sugartha Prabodhanartham Alpagrandha Vrittir Arabhyade. Atha Kathopanishad. So this, he's saying, I am starting Kathopanishad. The Upanishad is called Kathopanishad, given by the Kataka Rishi. You know, there are lots of Upanishads. I think we only talk about few. In the four Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur, Sama, Atharvana, they are split into many shakas. Shakas are branches. They say 1180 shakas. And each shaka has got the mantra part, Brahmana part, and Aranyaka part, and Upanishad part comes in there. Therefore, there must be 1180 Upanishad. Don't know. But many shakas are gone. Now they enumerate something like 108 Upanishads. But the 12 or 10 or 12 are the most prominent ones, which Bhagavan Shankara has given bhashyams for. For example, the Rig Vedam is called an Aitareya Upanishad. Bhagavan written a bhashyam for it. And this, there is also a Kaushitaki, that's a Upanishad there in Rig Vedam. Bhagavan did not write bhashyam, but Bhagavan is quoting that Upanishad in quite a few places in other commentaries. So therefore, that is important to consider. Then Yajurvedam got two parts, Shukla Yajurvedam and Krishna Yajurvedam. I think we saw in this split in the Ishopanishad class. Yajnavalkya stories, you know that. In the Krishna Yajurvedam, which is practiced in the south, there are two important Upanishads. Taittiriya Upanishad. The Taittiriya Brahmanam is a very important ritual part, and that contains Taittiriya Upanishad and Kathopanishad. The Kathopanishad is in the Krishna Yajurveda. Again, Bhagavan has written bhashyam for it. And there is an Upanishad called Maitri Upanishad in Krishna Yajurvedam, which Bhagavan uses it in explaining some places. So therefore, when we have time, you should study that Upanishad as well. The Shukla Yajurvedam, which is called the luminous Yajurvedam, which the Yajnavalkya produced after guidance from the Mitra, the sun god, has contained two important Upanishads, Isha and Brihadaranya. Isha was Upanishad we saw last time. Bhagavan Shankara started the Isha was Upanishad, end with Brihadaranya Upanishad. That's the 10th Upanishad. The both are in the Shukla Yajurveda. And This Upanishad is called Shvedashra Upanishad. Again, Bhagavan has written a commentary on that. Then we got Atharvana Veda. The Atharvana Veda, Samaveda. Samaveda, there are two important Upanishads, which Bhagavan written Bhashya. Keno Upanishad, very nice Upanishad, and Shantokya Upanishad. Then the Atharvana Veda, Mandukya Upanishad, most smallest Upanishad, the most difficult one to understand, most wonderful Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, and Prashna Upanishad. So I'm just giving you some gist of it. So we will see what is Kathopanishad maybe next class we start. But just here we will do. So what he's saying, I will start the Kathopanishad. Vallinam. What is a Vallinam? Means Kathopanishad got 119 mantras. It is written, it is seen by a rishi called Kataka Rishi. No, everything comes with the rishi, the seer. He saw that in his Chitanandam, in his chit space, in the conscious space, these mantras coming into him, and he verbalized them and become Kathopanishad. It's a Kataka Shaka. Researchers say the Kataka Shakas were in the Panchalam, in the Kuru dynasty. But it is all gone now. And many Vedic Pandits say Kataka Shaka doesn't exist anymore, practicing it. That's why the Kathopanishad is the story of Nachiketa, is taken as Nachiketa Ubhakhyanam into Taittiriya Brahmanam in the Taittiriya Upanishad. So it's also there as a story so that it doesn't get lost. We don't need to go into that thing. You can go read a books and they'll give you the history for it. But don't waste time on putting dates and which came first. Waste of time. But this Kathopanishad contains 119 mantras, split in 2 adhyayas, 2 chapters, cantos. In the first adhyaya, it is got 3 subsections or chapters. It's called Vallis. Valli means a chapter. The second chapter contains 3 adhyayas. So there are 6 chapters, 6 subsections, 6 vallis. In the first valli is, maybe I'll just give you a little story here. So the first valli is the story of Nachiketa. We will see the story next class. We need continuity for it. And his travel to the Lord of Death's door, asking him certain boons. And Lord Yamadharmaraja giving him some and not giving him some. So that is all in the first chapter. So first chapter is basically the context of it, setting up the story. But we are going to derive some important lessons from the story. The second valli is Lord Yama giving him a couple of boons, but not giving the third one. In fact, pleading him, please leave me alone, don't ask me that. But he proves, Nachiketa proves, I deserve this one. Give me that. So he started. So the Vedantam starts from that. The second valli, mantra 17 onwards, Atma Jnanam starts. We go through that one. The third valli of the first chapter, in the second chapter, he also about the Shreyas, prayers, and all that. When we understand, you will remember what we learned in the Tattvabodha. It will all come to you. So, you see, because the Nachiketas has given prayojanam for both Laukikas as well as the Jignasus, Mumukshus. There is a fire called Nachiketa's fire, the fire of Yajna, like Vajpayee, Ashwamedha Yagam, like that, Nachiketa Yagam. When you do that, you attain certain benefits. So that Yajnam is the result of the boon given by Lord Yamadharmaraja to Nachiketas. Therefore, everybody pray, worship Nachiketas because he gave us this way of worshipping to get Kama Sukam. The Nishkamam, the Jnanam comes in the Atmajnana. So the third chapter, Lord Yama gives you the Jiva and Ishvara. He is now, after giving Atmajnanam, he branches into the duality of Jiva and Ishvara, and then imparting him how the Atma Tattvam makes them as Advaitam. This is the first chapter. Then you have the second chapter. That is, has got again 3 vallis, and it expands the first chapter. It gives you a lot more meat. Some researchers say the second chapter is insertion in the later stage, and we don't take it. We believe that this is all one, but see, Upanishads are not a systematic study. It's not like a Vedanta Sutra or Tattvabodha where you can go step by step. It builds up knowledge. It is a emotional expression of mumukshu. So you have to really see this, kind of as periodic ideas. So that is there. So what he has given is Vallina, Sukartha. Sukartha means very light, elementary, simple, beautiful Artham. Prabodhanartham. I'll produce that. So with that, we will enter into the text proper. And that probably we'll do the next class. The Shanti Padam is the same Saganavavadu. We will recite that one more time together, and then we will close it. Om Shakanavavatu.
Om Sahanavavatu.
Sakanau Punaktu. Sakabhiryam Karavavake. Tejas Vinabadi Damastu. Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti
Hari Om Tat Sat.
Om.
Thank you.